Good evening, and tonight on History Takes a Day Off. I'm cracking myself up here. We examined the Egyptians. The most ancient of all cultures. Egyptian culture essentially begins about 5,000 years ago, as near as we can tell. This would be about 3000 BC. This is longer before there was a Jesus than the time that is now since there was a Jesus. The Egyptians are a culture that is ancient and awful and filled with mysterious events. Perhaps one of those, the most mysterious, is the fact that some of their greatest achievements, and here I refer to the so-called Sphinx and the so-called Great Pyramid at Giza, of which the largest of those is the one that was built first. Those two things, the Sphinx and the biggest of the three pyramids at Giza, were both built around 5,000 years ago. You can ask an historian today, someone who's willing to tell you the truth, and historian, you might want to ask, or some sort of Egyptologist or something like that. And if it's not only amazing that something like the Great Pyramid was built at all, the way it was built, it remains one of the world's heaviest structures, and this is mostly because, of course, it's made of solid stone. It's about 300 feet tall, but some of the stones in the middle are bigger than the ones at the bottom, which of course makes no sense at all. Why would they have done that? About 15 years ago, a Japanese computer company claimed that they had figured out how the Egyptians had gone about building the Great Pyramid, and that in fact they could use the same tools that the Egyptians would have had available to them, and they could recreate the construction of the Great Pyramid over there in Japan. They were only going to do it at a tenth of the scale. Okay, so first of all, it's not going to be 300 feet tall, it's only going to be 30 feet tall. And rather than some of the blocks weighing 10 tons, they're only going to weigh a ton, right? So they were going to try to move them around with logs and rope and all this other stuff. This is like 15 years ago, because they had generated computer models of what they thought was the way that the Great Pyramid had been built. They tried that for 6 months, and then eventually they threw their hands up and they said, okay, we can't figure out how they did that, but you know what? If you let us use modern equipment, diesel things and hydraulics and electrical things and everything like that, we will then be able to recreate this thing. It's only going to be a tenth of the scale again. It's not going to be 300 feet tall. It's only going to be 30 feet tall. But we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to do that here in 1995. Well, they tried for another 6 months, and they once more had to throw their hands up. Ask any expert. Not only is it remarkable that they built the Great Pyramid at all, but that they were able to do it 5,000 years ago, at a time when most of our ancestors were living in caves and still hunter-gatherers. 5,000 years ago, they were able to do that. Ask someone today who's willing to tell you the truth, how was the Great Pyramid built? And the short answer is, 5,000 years later, in our glory, with our satellites and our cell phones and all of our big brains, we don't know. We don't know how they built the Great Pyramid.